just like if you wanted to zoom in on a map, or if you, in this case, we want to zoom in on finer granularity of the data. So if you saw this in the keynote also, sometimes the events on the TouchSmart are a little peculiar because of the IR ring. And if your fingers are too close, it won't recognize separate touch points, and events get a little bit confusing. So there's the software actually doesn't have any problem handling the different kinds of events coming in. The limitation is on the hardware and how the hardware renders. And I'm sure that there are going to be new generations of touch-capable devices coming out with higher precision. So while things occasionally might be a little bit awkward to work with right now, that can only get better. So what you can also do is zoom in to an even finer level of granularity. So now we're on the day view. And you can click, drag, scroll up, scroll down. And these, it's using the single touch, or the low-level touch point events in order to, in essence, treat it like a mouse. So we're using a single touch point, and we're just calculating the distance of whether you move up, whether you move down, to determine how to scroll and which direction you would scroll. But then you also can think about, when you're building it, how does the overall interface work? So in this case, we can drag, we can scroll, we can move these, or you can click on a specific object, and then you can move that object around. And when you're working with the different objects, each object can respond to the events on its own. So you can have touch events happening on a specific object, you can have the object behind that responding to the same touch event, and you can use the same event dispatching mechanisms that you would normally use for regular events, so you can stop propagation, or you can use priority, or you can use capture phase, and you can accept or handle or block different events on different levels. Same way you would with any other kind of Flex application. So the last part of this demo that I'm going to get into is the rotate event, which is the same thing as the other events. You can rotate it, and it's as though you're physically manipulating that object on screen.